especially with all the things that it means about HP, because it's breaking the dominance of the PC left and right. And that's very exciting for us that actually do like to buy PCs, because I think the price of those have really bottomed out. But out of all of it, I'm probably with many of you in that I'm really actually more excited about the price drop in the PS3, although I doubt that this will signify a PS3 purchase for me because, as many of you know, I've been following the PS3 hacking scene, and it's been pretty much closed up to this point, and which it really has been a kind of a drag for me, because I was interested in getting a PS3 and kind of hacking it for no other reason than I love to do old gaming on my new consoles, as we've talked about many times here on the Weekly Ringer. But that hasn't panned out, and although I'm upset about it, I really have no reason to buy a PS3. I can get a Blu-ray player for $100 now, or cheaper, and that's really the only reason I'd probably buy one anyway. So, there you have it. There's my answer. And now I want to get to and that was a great conversation, by the way. Thank you guys for taking a topic that most people might not necessarily even be interested in, really making it interesting, pushing the topic forward. Now I want to talk about the most significant tech news of the week. And I knew I had to ask about this as soon as I saw it, because my eyes simply did not believe, my brain did not believe my eyes when they saw this news. I literally stared at it when it came across my computer screen once I finally got back into the land of the living on vacation. As many of you know, Steve Jobs announced this week that he is leaving Apple as the CEO. Doesn't mean he's necessarily leaving Apple in general, but he's leaving Apple as the CEO. He's resigned as CEO of Apple. I don't care what you think about Steve Jobs or what you think about the industry in general. I think it would be nonsense to say anything other than the fact that this will have a tremendous impact on the technology world as a whole, as well as many other places that you can make an argument about. But I'm going to refrain from giving my commentary about what I think about this, because I want to talk significantly about it next week. But I wanted to ask about Steve Jobs' departure this week, because I think it's such a big piece of technology news. And all of us out there in geekdom are interested in this for one reason or another, or should be interested in this. And if you don't know about it, then I'm glad to be the evangelist that brings it to you. We need to talk about this. It is substantial. I wanted to ask about it on the Weekly Ringer. And so here's the Weekly Ringer for next week that I want all of you guys to think about. Looking back on Steve Jobs, there's a lot of things we can talk about in the iterations of Apple, looking back at the iterations of all the different contributions that he's made. But what I want to ask you about this week specifically is, what do you think Steve Jobs' greatest contribution is? What do you think his greatest contribution is? That could be to the world in general, it could be to the technology world, it could be to any of the other communities that he's impacted, of which I think you could easily make an argument. But as Steve Jobs departs Apple as CEO, what has been his greatest contribution thus far? We'll talk a lot about it next week. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with, because there are so many different ways to take this. And by the way, probably no right or wrong answer that won't be flushed out in the next 10 years or more to see what the legacy of Steve Jobs really is. But I'm very excited to see what you guys think is the greatest contribution of Steve Jobs in his wonderful and illustrious career in technology. So that is the Weekly Ringer for next week. Please, as always, comment and tell me what your thoughts are, for better, for worse. Any criticism, anything you want to go to me or get to me, say, send me a private message on the website. Send me an email at commodore128@clanofthegraywolf.com. As always, thank you so much for all of you for watching. I appreciate your viewership. Appreciate you guys making a comment and keeping the community going for as long as it has gone. I am the Commodore from the Clan of the Gray Wolf. Thanks for watching, everybody. There is no reset button.